You are looking at the template for your Week 2 project task. It is the Course Project Scenario Analysis Matrix. It is located under the Week 2 resources. Downloading and completing this matrix will help you better understand the course project scenario you select. You can select your scenario before or during completion of the matrix. What is important here is that you come away with a good idea of a course or class that you might design and develop someday in the future. Notice that there are 3 columns associated with your analysis: a situational analysis, a learner analysis, and effectively a theory analysis. This tutorial addresses the first column on situation analysis. So, what is the instructional problem your scenario course will address? In their textbook, Designing Effective Instruction, Morrison, Ross, Kalman, and Kemp pointed out that identifying the instructional problem is the starting point for useful instructional design. Important to your needs here is your identified problem is one that actually will benefit from an instructional intervention. For example, if I was planning to design and develop a blended learning professional development class, I would work with an understanding based upon, say, Keller's ARCS learning model that there is no learning taking place until you gain the attention of the learners. So, my instructional problem is, how do I help teachers gain the attention of their students? What is the problem content of the scenario course, and how much of the content will be delivered online? The problem content is not your entire course syllabus. Rather, it is a brief list of the key content elements you think, at this point, you will need to include. For example, in my professional development class on animation techniques based upon the works of cognitive load theorists, I would plan to include only simple animation techniques, all of which are suitable to being delivered online. Notice, I focus on content, not on my strategy for presenting that content. What types of and how much separation need to be overcome? The concept of separation is critically important and drives many instructional design decisions. As Dr. Saba stated in regards to Moore's theory of transactional distance, the more separation, the more structure that is needed. What does that mean? Well, there are many types of separation, of which several were mentioned in the course resources and are of major importance. These include teacher to student, student-student, student to resources, time, place, cultural, including gender and ethnicity, intellectual, experiential, emotional, and physiological separation, to name a few. Also, useful here is understanding Dale's cone of experience related to how far removed from actual hands-on, face-to-face interaction your learning experience design will be. For my professional development example, which is blended instruction based, I would have to consider how I'm going to address the teacher-participant separation during the online portion of the class. That is, how participants will access resources, some of which might require broadband internet access. How participants' culture might impact their respect for the use of cartoons for content delivery. A potentially wide variation in participant use of technology associated with animation software. And possibly, most important, how I will communicate with students who are hearing or sight impaired. What other important learning environment or contextual factors need to be planned for? Turning again to designing effective instruction, here is where you need to consider other aspects of what the authors call instructional content. Now, I'll let you look that up and review it. In my example, Because I selected blended instruction, I have two learning environments to consider and address with the participants: the classroom and the learning environment each participant has at home. Here then, I will list the factors that I think I might have to deal with, such as the use of multiple interactive examples to keep participants' interest high on, say, a 2-hour Wednesday evening class. That would be the face-to-face part. And multiple disruptions at home, which would benefit from content chunking. That's the online component. Okay, the next tutorial, which will be shorter, includes the other two columns, learner analysis and working theory.